So all I've done here so far was capture our CBCT scan and then import our STL of the patient's current dentition. And now I'm going to scroll through this and make sure it looks like it aligns up properly. And for the most part, it looks like it does. So our digitalized site, I'm going to scroll back through the other way. Everything seems to look good. There's another way you can look at this is if it kind of blends in, meshes gray and green back and forth, it usually means it's a good stitch. When I'm seeing some issues is where it's not perfect. It's usually scatter. Like for instance, this right here, you see these projections out here. That's just scatter from the metal in this PFM bridge. So the goal right here is to place implants in the lower left quadrant. So the first thing we need to do is map our nerve. So I'll blow this up. We'll click on the nerve panel, detect nerve, and all you got to do is just, without pressing Control or Shift, just click in the middle. It'll automatically generate what it thinks is the nerve. We'll go back and look at it. This is not ideal. So we have two options. We can manually do it like I'm doing right now, or we can just click off of it. And if you click off of it, all you got to do is press Add Nerve, and you just click where you can see the nerve going in and out. Continue to click, scroll through, keep clicking. And this is getting us back far enough. I don't think I have to worry about it anymore. So that's actually going to be a good tracing. So that's where we're at. So at this point, usually what I do is I'll turn off the in surfaces, turn off the original scan, and then all you're going to have left is this right here in your nerve. And what we'll do is we'll do our digital wax up. So what we'll do is we'll add some teeth. So we'll go into Add Teeth, and we'll go ahead and click number 19. We'll add it here. And we'll just manipulate it until we like what we see. Kind of like a little digital wax up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be at some point. It needs to look like it belongs there. At least the central groove. So, and now this guy is getting a second bicuspid or a second molar in here. So, what we'll do now is just manipulate this in the proper orientation. And holding the blue will actually change the height, and then the purple would reduce the proximal surfaces. So I'll reduce this a little bit more. That looks better. Okay, so and to move it like this, what you want to do is you hold down the left and the right at the same time, and then to zoom in and zoom out, that's your scroll button, or you can also hold the right button down, and then to rotate it like this, it's your left button. So my biggest thing is always the central groove of these teeth, making sure the implant projection is going to come out the middle. So at this point, we're ready to put our implants in because we have a pretty good idea of the area. So we'll go into the teeth module and lock these because I'm happy with this. What you can also do is turn back on the surfaces and make sure that the bite is decent. There's a lot of scatter here, so it's hard to tell, but from what I can tell, it looks very good. We're going to double check and make sure that this is meshed properly. What I want to do is check this area here, this molar, because this can be our distal extension, and make sure it's perfect. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and drop our implants in. So implant 1, we're going to click on mandible. We'll click on Biomax. I really like the 5.0s in the molar sites. I'll drop that here. Let's see what that looks like. So it looks good on the panoramic view, but it needs to look good in all these views, and it doesn't look good in this view right here. So we're going to go ahead and click and rotate this in. And this is my favorite image to scroll through to make sure I actually have enough height to place a longer diameter implant. So I will switch this up to a 10 millimeter implant. So replace. At a minimum, you can put a 10, 5.0 by 10. That looks a lot better. And then now I'm looking to get these crown emergence profile come out the central of the tooth and still stay in the bony housing. So it's a platform switched implant, so I can place it subcrestal. This is decent. I'm getting a little close to the nerve. That's what this is telling me. So I'll just get out of the way. And looking at it from this angle, just need to push it a little bit further back. All right, so add one more implant. Same thing. Let's just try the 10. See how that works out for us. Too close to the nerve. Just real close to the nerve. I'm going to have to back this down to a shorter implant. Let's see. Let's change this up to an 8. All right. And then this is my favorite view. So I got to change this to goes out to the central fossa. And so why is this an issue now? And it's an issue because the implants are too close to one another. All right. So I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to go back into this screen and find out why they're too close to each other. All right. So this implant's too close to the nerve. All right. So that's what we got so far. So no implant validation issues. It's far enough away from the nerve on both sides. It is at a good angle between each other and between the adjacent roots. So at this point, now we got to do is draw our guide. So what I'm going to do is go back into surfaces, turn off the original, just work in this. So what you can see now is always like to validate, make sure that the angulation's coming out the central fossa for the most part. It looks good to me. Could you angle this a little bit more this way? Absolutely. It's not that difficult. Click on this, just rotate it. Now watch this area right here. So that's a little bit better. So now what we're going to do is go back into the implant panel, turn on our guide tubes, and I'm going to change this from direct cut drills to pilot drill kit. That's going to shrink both those down. I can actually turn the teeth off so you don't see those issues. And so this is where, this is what it's going to look like. I'll lock the implants. I always like to look at it here. It looks very good when compared to the adjacent teeth. And so now all I really need to do is make my guide. So what I'll do is go to guide panel, make sure this says lower, click on draw, and I like to get a decent size going here. So I'm gonna grab a lot of this.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Love you.
I'm gonna press edit curve. So the other thing to talk about is right before I make this guide, this is going to be printed up instead of a Moonray printer or a Form 2, which can print at 50 to 20 microns. This can be printed on a cell Robox printer. So for those guide sleeve tubes, you need to actually change those diameters manually. So the pilot drill is a 2.0. So you always want to increase it 0.1 millimeters greater, but on a Robox, you actually have to print it at 0.2 millimeters. So instead of, it's going to be a 2.0 drill, but you have to increase it to offset the size of the implant drill to actually get in, and then one more for a Robox. If you're using a Moonray, you can print at 0.1. If you're printing on a Robox, it's 0.2. So we'll do this for both implants. So 2.2. You can see the diameter size change. And then at this point, all we got to do is go back in the guide panel and press create surgical guide. Wait, make sure you're on mandible. Yeah. And then create surgical guide, save. So this is where we're at right here. I like to get cross-arch stabilization of these guides. If you turn everything off, all these surfaces, turn off your nerve, and then turn off your implants. Then this is your surgical guide that you got to 3D print. And that's pretty much it.